Hi, this is Paul from globaltradingsoftware.com and back from my summer break and first video since then, and I'm going to look at Forex here, but we can use this for lots of instruments that you day trade. Framing your charts, very important. Been away for 6 weeks. Need to reaffirm those support and resistance zones on multiple time frames, even if you're going to day trade copper, gold, euro, US dollar, whatever it is. Just reaffirm what's been going off over the last sort of few months or so. But I'm going to start right at the beginning with weekly chart on euro, US dollar, and just go through the process that I look for those major support resistance zones, but also those confluences as well, because where lots of them are together, so whether you've got a weekly, daily, a 60-minute together, or lower time frames together, very strong support and resistance. It's good to identify those to help frame the chart. So 2015, all the way back to there on the euro US dollar chart, in red we've got three main support and resistance zones on the weekly, where we've got multiple tests over weeks for support here at the bottom of the bottom one, and at the top of this zone we've had another big test there as well, and then here, and then just recently out as well we've had some clustering around there. So that's a really strong zone. The middle one, again, test from down below and above for strong resistance, and then up here. So this one's probably not going to affect our trading in the next month, 2 months or 3 months, but if it starts to break up, we've got it there. Daily is in grey, so this one here where my cursor is, that's outlined with those little blue dots as well, that daily is in the weekly zone, so there's a lot of confluence there. So if we do break up towards this 1.14, there's going to be some major resistance there. And then down below we've got some others, and then we've got a recent daily zone I wanted to put in there as well. So we go down to the daily time frame. We can see here where we've got this current daily time frame. So we've got this tested from below, tests up to the top there, and that gives us that zone of price where we're going to get some resistance from that daily time frame. Again, we've got this one just above the weekly where we've got some really strong support here, and it tested it at the top of that support at that point there. So we're starting to delve deeper, closer to where we want to trade. The next one is the hourly. Again, I've already put these on. I went through this before I made the video. Again, so this is in pink, so we can see this 60-minute time frame in the daily time frame, so lots of confluence here. We've also got a 60-minute time frame here where my cursor is on the right here, but there's also a 30 and a 15, so there's very strong confluence of support and resistance in there. So this is a major zone of price that we don't want to trade into, or we would look for targets or a breakthrough, that sort of thing. And then we've got further pink one down here, which is this recent support on the 60-minute time frame. But within there, and we'll go down to the 15-minute, we can see there's a 15-minute support within there. Lots of confluence there, strong support. Just bounced off there as well. So 30-minute zones now, they're in green. Again, we've got one at the top here, recent one, where if we look left, we can see there was a test from the bottom here, a test up to the top there, and then recently we've tested within there, which is good, and we've got a 15-minute in there as well. And again, on this really strong one, we've got 15, 30, 60, very strong support and resistance down to the 15. And this is where we are right now. So really, we're going to be looking at a 3-minute trade on here. I'm going to be turning the XPRAD on in a second. But we've defined those support and resistance zones. Very important then, because once we've got those on our chart, we can just update them with any sort of relevant support and resistance that occur on those smaller time frames. But this is our framework, and this is where we've got to trade between, if you like. So we're not going to short into this big support here. So if I just put the XPRAD algo on at this point here, we can see we got some 6-star sells last week on the Friday, but again, we're not interested until we break these lows here of around 108 to 82. This where this pivot is here. So that never really happened until after we've had the data on Friday afternoon US time, and we'll go through a trade on that on the 3-minute. But now where we've come down, and then Monday, we're into Monday now, and we've got some expert algo signals. We've got a 4 and a 5 star buy signal at this point here. So we'd be interested in a long if it broke out of this zone, which it has done for now. So again, we get that nice move up there on this 15-minute. Longer term, 15-minute on a Forex pair, you'll probably look to swing over Monday to Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday if the move continues. Right now, it's probably just above break even. But I want to go back to that Friday trade where we had data. So this was the big NFP data point at this point here. And we can see previous there, we've got the 5 and the 6 star sub, but we're not going to short into this sport, and we're certainly not going to enter a trade just before the data. We get that data reaction, which goes and tests that 15-minute zone up above, starts to come back down. Then we get the breakdown through those zones, and we look for an entry short for the rest of the afternoon there. I'm going to go down to the 3-minute now, because obviously day traders, 15-minute on a Friday, not really going to trade that, but you're going to be looking at a 3-minute to a 5-minute type trade. So let's just go to that point. So there we go. Again, our support and resistance zones are on there. We know we've got a big 60-minute zone down into there. We've got this confluence of 15, 30 and 60 at this point here. Very, very strong. Again, the data came out, hit the 15-minute zone, didn't work, came back down, formed a double top, really. We're coming back down again. You know, those people that would be very aggressive would trade through this pivot here, but you've got really strong support. So you've got to make sure that we get through that support first. And this is where the entry would be, below all of this multiple time frame support zone there. And that's the entry. And then you can see it starts to move down all the way to midday EST, where we're going into that zone. Now, one of the things you need to be aware of on a Friday is when you're talking midday EST, a lot of the Forex traders in Europe have finished for the week. This is why the volume goes low and we go sideways. So it's this big impulse move that really interests me. We've got the data reaction. It's not wanted to go up. The market is not wanting to push through this resistance. It's starting to come back down. We've got a signal here. Now look down below on the bias depth heat map. All 6 time frames are red. So we've got signal, confirmation. We've got a decent risk reward to the next support zone. We've got to make sure we've got a conservative entry through these sort of confluence of zones here. And then we've got a great trade all the way down. So very, very simple, but it's something you must do all the time. Put in those multiple time frames. Start at the weekly. You probably won't have to do that very often during the year. Do the daily, the hourly, the 30, the 15, and then down to the time frame that you're trading on for that sort of native time frame support and resistance zones. But again, we started the week where we are right now. We did have a 6 star buy in the 3-minute. But it's going pretty sideways at the moment. Why? Because there's no trading in the US today because it's Labor Day. Okay, so again, being aware of those holidays, those data points, that economic data that's going to affect your trading, very, very important as well. So the only links down below I'm going to put in are for the Expert Algo, the Manager, which is the management trading tool. I haven't talked about a lot about that today because it's more about those support and resistance zones, and that bias depth heat map for confirming that signal. So just one point here, 6 star sell signal here, Friday afternoon. You're into the 60-minute, you're heading towards the 15-minute, you don't short into support, even though you've got a signal, you've got confirmation. Late on in the afternoon, it's Friday, Europeans closed, you know, just because you've got that, but you've got loads of support there, that trade wouldn't be taken. So check out those links below. Expert Algo for those graded trades, whether the 5 or the 6 star buys and sells, and the bias depth heat map for those confirmations. And then we have the Manager to manage those trades.